Hello everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Clandestine Cabal, a comic book review show where we try to have fun and try to tell you guys about some great comics that are coming out. And I'm Jason.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Matt.
Alright, and this is our very first episode, so we hope you guys enjoy and we hope to be around for more. So, let's kick it off with Invincible Iron Man number 20, the first part of Stark Disassembled. Last we saw Iron Man, he just got his ass kicked by Norman Osborn, and his mind was wiped. So now he's lying comatose in this, and this starts that issue. And what were your guys' overall impressions of this?
I enjoyed it. I mean, there are some really nice things done with it. There's kind of like a dreamscape thing that Tony Stark's in right now, and that I feel like that's kind of been done before, but I felt like they did some really nice things with that, and that it was refreshing and original still. And I don't want to give too much away about it, but I'm definitely looking forward to see what goes on there and how what's going on in Tony Stark's unconscious mind or subconscious mind comes up and helps him reboot himself, as they say in the comic.
Yeah, I thought it was like a real contrast between like the last stuff where you pretty much just had, oh, slam banging, like him fighting against everybody, and now all of a sudden it's just like, let's take a minute, let's look at like what this has gotten him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, not all comics have to be great, just all out fighting. They can be intellectual, they can be witty and all that, and it has plenty of it in it. The only problem I had with it personally was there's just too much talking.
Mm-hmm. I actually agree with you on that.
It's got great art, great artists, great colors, great inking. There's just too much talking, though. There's to a point where I was flipping through the pages and they're like, I really don't want to read all this. I'm just gonna skip through the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And that's just how I thought.
No, I definitely agree with you. And there was one part in particular. When he's doing his will off
his living will from the rescue armor.
Yeah, right. Off of Pepper Potts' suit. And I was okay with it, but I felt like I would turn the page and I would be like, okay, it's still going. It's still going.
Every panel, and just another picture of him. They
had this really good... to it, where he's talking about how, like, what Captain America and Thor mean to him, and how they're kind of like proof to him that God exists and all these things.
I really like that too.
I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was a good place to stop it. But then it came back and he started talking about schools of fish, and he lost me. So
it's like, spoiler alert, Norman Osborn, Norman Osborn is a car on a highway, and a deer runs out and he will crash. We have to be a school of fish.
Suffice to say, it's a little crazy. So.
Alright, but yeah, great work still by Matt Fraction and Salvador LaRocca. Like, they continue the great artist-writer combo from World's Most Wanted, and really looking forward to more. Especially, hopefully Steve Rogers will come back soon, and then it'll just be awesome. Oh, he's coming back.
I know.
Alright, moving on to our second Marvel comic, Thor Giant-Size Finale.
I'm doing my best Vanna White impression here.
Basically, this is the last... issue of JMS's run. JMS was the one who brought Thor back to life, and I want to start with my impression of this. And it says Giant Size Thor finale, and I'm not bagging on it because it was a really good issue, but it just seemed like this is another issue in the story. It didn't seem like a finale. I don't think we can blame JMS for that. I think we should blame Marvel. Sorry, Marvel, but it's just... I mean, I kept thinking, oh, a lot of plot threads, maybe they'll tie up a little bit of it, because I know they're saving some of it for Siege. But it's just like, it really just adds stuff onto it and leaves it to the next person. I mean, it's a pretty simple story. It pretty much just deals with aftermath and stuff and just builds up to the next arc. But my only qualm with it was that it was just it wasn't really a finale.
To me, it just seemed, like Jason said, just another issue. I mean, and that's really what it seems like. It just kind of picking up where it left off and then leaving it ready for the next issue to come out. I mean... nothing too special about it.
I enjoyed it, and I agree with everything that Jason and Matt have said thus far. It felt like it was just another issue, and it didn't really resolve anything. However, I think that that's what a lot of issues have been doing lately, and like more than just Thor, like lots of books have been doing that lately. And so I agree that that's something that Marvel should maybe invest in and try not to do as much. And it also suffers from this growing trend where they can make it a giant-sized comic book by having a regular-sized issue and then adding like an old story to it, like at the very end. And I would much rather have a double-sized issue of quality new material than having something from, you know, the Silver Age.
That's kind of like the same thing that I've been feeling with the majority of the second features in DC Comics.
Yeah.
We have to pay an extra $1.
Especially the Green Arrow and Black Canary series.
Those pretty much. Like double-sized issues, but they're just from points of view.
They don't seem to, catch each other like they should. It just seems like two different comics that have nothing going on with each other.
I wanted to say one more thing about Thor. Like I said, I thought it was a good issue, and I don't know, I'm just stupid, I guess, but I hate it when bad things happen to people in general. So I mean that was when bad things happen to good people when they shouldn't happen to them, because I'm such a, I don't know, I'm naive and I'm an idealist. So it made me a little sad when bad things happen to people in this book, which I'm not going to name any names.
I'm assuming you're referring to the title character.
Yeah, that, and
possibly.
I do have to say that
various and sundry other characters.
I do have to say that's been one of my favorite things throughout JMS's run. I mean, it seemed like just a random thing at first, but then it just evolved into like, oh, I really like this character. And the way that they ended it, I mean, well, again, it seemed like, oh no, it also was like really well done. I was like, oh.
I agree. I mean, I definitely think, because you can't have characters that are just perfect. So I understand why it had to be done, but it still makes me sad when my characters aren't perfect.